Now let us see we can create an empty tuple or not. In the same way, I'll create a tuple, empty tuple. I'll just add the parentheses and I'll print it. Let's say we can create it or not. How we can create it? So this is how we can create it. So nothing will be visible. Why? Because it is empty. Okay. Now we will see how we can access values in a tuple. Access values in a tuple. Okay, you just need to set the index for which you want the values, for which you want the value in square brackets. That's it. So let us create a tuple. So we are creating string tuple. Let me print it. So I have printed it. Okay, this is a tuple. Now we need to access the values. How we can do that? Let us access the first item. How? By just typing the name of the tuple and adding the square bracket with the index. So 0 will be the following. It will display Ronaldo. In the same way you can access other items also. Okay, 1 index, 2, 1 will be 2. The following 2 will be this, 3 will be this. So it is based on index. You can see Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar, Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar. Okay, so now we will see how we can check existence of an item in a Python tuple. Let us create a new program. For that, at first let us create a tuple. Okay. So this is our string tuple. We want to check the existence of an item. How we can check it? The in keyword is used to check the existence of an item in a tuple. Simply just use if. Let me search for Anthony in, write a tuple name, that is my tuple. That's it. We use the in keyword. If I'm able to find it, I'll print found. Okay, right click and run it. Since the my tuple is having the Anthony item, it will display found. No, it is showing an error. Okay, we use the following colon, right click, run. Here it is found. Okay, so in this way you can easily check the existence of an item. Now let us work around indexing in Python tuples. Okay, so the indexing in Python tuples begins from 0. Okay, the last item is length minus 1. Okay, you just need to set the index in square brackets, and to fetch a specific element, just add the index of that element in the square bracket, just like arrays. With that, if you want to count from the right, use the negative indexing. Okay, so we can also use the slice operator to fetch a specific set of sub elements. Okay, let's see an example first. Fetch a specific element with indexing in tuples. So let's say we have the following tuple, string tuple. Okay, so I'll just print the tuple. So let's say I want to fetch a specific tuple at index 0. So I'll just mention the name of the tuple, then in square brackets I'll just mention the index. That's it. So right click and run, and Ronaldo will be visible. Here it is. In the same way, for index 1, 2, 3, the same concept works. Let's say I'll go for the first index, that is second position, and on the second position we have Messi here. In this way you can easily fetch a specific element with indexing. Now let us work around negative indexing. Negative indexing means if you want left to right traversal of tuple elements, that is, for example, index minus 1 is the last item. Okay, that is counting from the last, from the right. Let's create a tuple first. Here is a tuple with string elements, string items, four string items. I'll just print the tuple. After that, guys, what we want to work on negative indexing. So let's see what will be visible when we'll add -1 in the square brackets. Okay, so my tuple and -1. This will fetch the last element. Okay, using negative indexing. Let's print it. It should show Maradona. Here it is visible. Okay, now want the second last element. Just mention -2. That's it. So this is how negative indexing works. Now visible second last namer. In this way, the third last element -3. That's it. So Messi will be visible. Right click run. In this way, your negative indexing works. Counting from the right. Now let us work around slicing in tuples. So the slice operator can be used to fetch a specific set of sub-elements. That is what we call slicing. We can achieve this with the colon operator that allows us to fetch multiple items also. Let us see an example. First we will create a tuple. So we created a tuple with 4 elements, 4 items, and we printed it. That's it. Now what we want, guys, we want to work around the slicing operator. Let us see what will be visible when we will be adding 1: to it. Let's see what will be visible. So by printing 1: it displayed the rest of the elements except the first element. So we performed slicing. Now let's see what will be visible when we will be using the following: -1. So through this, the elements are displayed in reverse order since we used -1. Okay, so at first Maradona is visible, then Neymar, then Messi, then Ronaldo. So completely opposite from the initial order. Now let us move further and let's use a range. I used 1 to 2 with a colon. Let's say what will be visible between 1 to 2. The following is visible. When we'll go for 1 to 3, let's see what will be visible. It displayed the following 2, and when we'll go for 1 to 4, it will display all these 3. So guys, this is what we did in the 1 2. This is the start index and this is the end index in the range. We are slicing. So 0 first index is the following and second is the following. So it will include the search index and will exclude the last index. So only Messi will be visible here. Here it is. The same goes for the last one. 1 2 3. 1 index, 2 index, third index. It will include the 1 2 3, that is only 1 and 2. And the right one, it will exclude. The ending index, it will exclude. That means it won't display the item under third index. So only Messi and Neymar is visible. This is how we can work around slicing in tuples. Now let us see complete example for range of indexes. So for range of indexes, we just saw we can specify the start and end range to fetch items in a range. Okay, let us create a tuple first. So we created a tuple with 4 string items and we displayed it. Now let us work around range of indexes. Okay. So we have used the square brackets and this is the starting index and this is the ending index. It will only include the starting index, not the ending. So it will only display Craig here. Right click and run. You can see Craig is visible. Now let us move further and add some stuff to it. Let's say 1 to 4. So what will happen? 0 1 2 4. That means it will include between range 1 to 4 1. I'll add one more. Okay, so it will include range 1 to 4 indexes, 0 index 0, index 1, 1 2 4. That means complete all these. but I told you for the ending index it won't include the ending index. That means the result will include only Craig, Ronaldo and Messi. Right click and run. Here and you can see it displayed only Craig, Ronaldo and Messi. In this way the range of indexing works. Okay, now let us focus on range of negative indexes. Okay, so let us first create a tuple. So we have created a tuple with six string elements. Now let us work around the negative indexing. Okay, so if you want to begin the search from the end, set them using negative indexes. Let's print. Okay, my tuple. Let's say I want to start from -3 till -1. Let's see what will be displayed. So it displayed Messi and Tom. How? Okay, so it works in the opposite way. So -3 will be 0, 1, 2, 3. That means from Ronaldo to -1. That is Ronaldo to Tom. All this should be visible. But we can see only Messi and Tom is visible because it ignored the first one. That is excluding the first index and including the second index. Okay, so it works in the opposite way. In the opposite way because it is negative indexing. Searching from the end. Okay, let's see another example. We have 5 and -2. So what will be the result? Craig, Ronaldo and Messi. How? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should be from Amit to 0, 1, 2, Amit to Messi. All these should be visible. But since it is negative indexing, it will ignore the first index, that is -5. So the rest will be visible. Okay, so all these are visible. Craig, Ronaldo, Messi. In this way we can work around negative indexes. Let's focus on the next example. So can we update tuple values? No, we cannot, since tuples are immutable. We have told you in the beginning when we were comparing tuples with list. But we can convert it to list, update and then convert the list to tuple. This will allow us to update the tuple values. Let's see how. At first we will create a tuple. So we created a tuple with 6 string items and we displayed it. Now what I'll do, I'll just convert it to a list. How? By using list and adding the tuple under list. This will convert it to list. Okay, so we can change the values now. Immutable, that is, we can change the values now because we have converted them to list. Let us change. So let's say we only changed 2 of them, 0th and first index. Now we will add this to the tuple so that we can convert it again to tuple after updating. So what we did, we just created a list from our original tuple. Then after doing the changes in the list, we converted this list into tuple. That's it. Okay, through this we can easily update a tuple. Let's see the output. Here it is. Initially it was the following. We converted the tuple into list. Then we converted list into a tuple. So through these ways we can update tuple values. Let us see another program. How we can get the total length of the tuple. Let us create a tuple first. Print the tuple. We want the length. Okay, so just type the tuple name. Okay, and set it inside the len, that is the length method. Right click, run. Okay, so here it is. We were having 5 integer items in the tuple, and the same is visible here. Now let us see how we can concatenate 2 Python tuples. To concatenate, we'll be using the plus operator. That's it. So we created tuple 1. Let us create another tuple. Okay, let me add numbers to it. Okay, now we have two tuples. We will now concatenate and we'll directly print it. Okay, let's see what will happen. Here and you can see we added tuple 1, tuple 2 and we concatenated both of them and the result is visible. Okay, in this way we can concatenate tuples. How you can get the maximum value from a tuple? Let's see. To get the maximum values, use the max method in tuple. So let us create a tuple. Okay, let's see the maximum value, how we can find it. Let's first print it. Now I'll just print the maximum value. I'll just print the maximum value. How? By adding it under max method. That's it. Now right click and run. What should be the maximum value? 170. Here it is, maximum value. So in this way you can find the maximum value from a tuple. Now let us see how we can find the minimum value from a tuple. So we will see how we can find the minimum value from a tuple. Let us create a tuple. We created a tuple. Now let us find the minimum. How? Let us use the min method and within that mention my tuple. Right click and run. You can see we found the minimum value, which was 100 from the list of integer tuples. Okay, now let us see how we can convert a list into tuple. So to convert a list into tuple, use the tuple method and set the list as the parameter which you want to convert. Let's see. Let us create a list first. So we created a list. Now we will convert, let's say we'll create my tuple and we will convert this list to tuple using the tuple method. That's it. So we have converted it. Now let us print the tuple which we have just converted, means the result, that is my tuple we are printing. Look, we were having the list, the following list, we converted into tuple and the same is visible here after converting. Okay, we can also write list here. Okay, now looks fine. We were having list, we converted into tuple. This is what we wanted. Now let us see how we can delete items from a tuple. Since tuple is immutable, we cannot modify, update or delete items from a tuple. However, we can delete items using the del keyword. So let's see. At first, let us create a tuple. Okay, so I'll delete my tuple. Okay, after that, when I'll try to print the tuple, it will show an error. Why? Because we have deleted it. You can see name tuple is not defined, name my tuple, because we deleted it. Okay, if I'll comment it and run it, you can see there won't be any error because the tuple is live. So I'll just delete it. Now when I'll print it, there will be an error. Okay, here is the error. So we deleted items, so we deleted the complete tuple. Okay, if you'll try to delete specific items, let's say, it will show you an error. Tuple object doesn't support item deletion. Okay, so let it as it is, and it will still show an error that my tuple is not defined because we deleted all the items from the tuple. Okay, now we'll see how we can join two or more Python tuples. We will see how to join two or more Python tuples. For that, let us create a tuple first. Okay, we created it. Now let us create another tuple, then the third tuple, and we will join all three of them. So these are our three tuples. We can join all of them. Let's join and print. We'll be using the plus operator to join two or more tuples. Okay, here it is. Right click and run. And you can see we have joined all the tuples. Tuple 1, tuple 2 and tuple 3. We have joined all three tuples. So guys, in this video we saw what are tuples in Python, how tuples are different from lists. We also saw how we can work around tuples with more than 15 examples we saw. So guys, thank you for watching the video.